people are scared of making gnocchi because it's either too much faff, it falls apart when you cook it, or it just turns into a sticky old mess and you don't know what to do. But today we are making a different type of gnocchi. No potatoes necessary, only pantry staple ingredients, and I promise you it will never ever fall apart when you cook it in the pan. This is the chef version that no one's telling you about. It's called Gnocchi Parisienne. And once you've tried it once and made it at home, you'll wonder, why did I ever bother making the potato version? If you look this recipe up, lots of people will tell you that you need to use a mixer to mix in your eggs at the end. But today I'm going to show you that just with a wooden spoon and a pan, you can make this absolute French delicacy. I've made this so many times by hand, so I promise you, you're in good hands. And the best thing about this dish is you can flavour it however you want. Make sure you stick around because I'm going to show you some funky and interesting ways that we can jazz up this gnocchi, and it's perfect for the weeknight when you think you've got nothing in, you want something delicious to eat. This will tick all the boxes. So let's get into making this Gnocchi Parisienne so that you can get it made in your kitchen at home. So what is Gnocchi Parisienne? It's essentially a choux pastry base, but we're going to treat it exactly the same as a gnocchi. So we're going to make the base, then we're going to blanch it in some boiling water, and then to finish this off, you fry it in a pan. So this dish is absolutely amazing. If you're only 2 people at home, you can make this recipe. It will give you enough for 4. You can blanch it, and then you can put some in the freezer because it freezes fantastically, meaning you've always got a quick meal ready to go. So when you're making this, you just need to get together your very easy ingredients, which is water, flour, butter, eggs, and salt. These are the only things that you need in the beginning. And then I've put on a large pot of water. This took me 2 minutes to weigh out. The water is on ready to go. This is fast, quick, and easy to make. So first of all, as you would if you were making choux, you're gonna add your water to a pan and your butter. And we're gonna put it on the stove, bring it up to a boil. The butter will all melt, and we're going to add in the flour and the salt. Cook it out quick, and then we're going to beat it hard like we're making choux pastry for a few minutes. And this is where the real choux pastry vibe comes in. We're going to crack in the eggs once that flour's cooked for a few minutes, and then it is done and we can flavour it. And if you're looking for this recipe, the quantities and all the other variations of how you can make this and the flavours that you can put into it, head to my website. It's in the description box down below, and you'll find everything you need there. And now what we need to do is let it cool down. So this is why sometimes people would use a mixer, because you can use a paddle, beat it in the mixer, and it's going to cool the dough down. Cool the dough down. Oh, that was a funny word to say, cool the dough down. But you can cool the dough down much quicker. Obviously here the pan is still hot, the dough is still hot. So we're just going to leave it for 5 minutes. I'm just going to occasionally break it up a little bit. You could transfer it into a cold pan if we didn't want to wait, but why would you want to make extra washing up? I don't want to do that, so I'm just going to wait 5 minutes or so, and this will have slightly cooled, and then we can add in our eggs one by one, exactly the same way as you would with choux. So while that cools down, we're going to talk about the things we're going to add to it. So this dough today, I'm going to split into 2. And this is what is amazing about this dough, is you can add in whatever you like. Traditionally, we are going to do something that's a little bit more like that. Parmesan, Dijon mustard, pepper. If you had some fresh herbs, chives, tarragon, even a bit of parsley, chop that up, add it in. Absolutely delicious. We're also going to do a little Asian twist. I'm going to add in a little bit of chili crunch, some chopped coriander, but the list goes on. You could add pecorino or gruyere for a different flavour change on the cheese, something a little bit sharper, something a little bit nuttier. Herbs are a great way to mix it up. Like I said, some chives or some tarragon or some parsley. You could even chop up some sun-dried tomatoes and a little bit of pesto into it. It is honestly so versatile. It's such a great dough to make and a really easy way to mix up the things that you're eating for dinner. Now we're going to add in one by one our eggs, as if we were making choux. The first one that you add in will take a little bit of time to incorporate, but as we get to the second and the third, the mixture will slightly loosen up. When you first add in your eggs, it looks like it's split, curdled, and looks absolutely horrendous. But I promise you, stick with it, give it a beat, and it will come together. And that is it. Your dough is done. You need to beat vigorously when you add in them eggs once they have started to become incorporated. And you know, the only thing that when you do it by hand, it doesn't have quite a smoother texture, but honestly, it makes absolutely zero difference when you're eating it. So if you don't have a mixer, you know you can still do it. But now that the dough is done, let's get it split and flavour it up. We're gonna add the Dijon Parmesan and black pepper to one, and the chili crunch and coriander to the other. If you're ever looking for some dinner inspiration or some more delicious dinners, fantastic recipes and easy things to make, head to my website, disheswithdell.com. You can find so much good stuff there. The link's also in the description box down below. And you can sign up to my weekly newsletter, which goes out on a Tuesday and gives you all the Dishes with Dell updates. Our doughs are now mixed. Now it's time to put them into whatever it is you're going to use to squeeze them out of. It can be a piping bag. We want no nozzle in the end unless you've got a really big fat one. Or if you didn't have a piping bag, you can use a Ziploc, pop your dough in, cut the corner off. We're going to do the exact same thing as if we were using the piping bag. So all I've done is got my water on boiling. We're going to put these into the bags, and then the same way that you would as if you were making potato gnocchi. We're going to drop them in, chop off the ends as they go in. You're going to let them cook. It will take slightly longer than gnocchi might. It's going to float to the top. We're going to cook it for 1 or 2 minutes and then take it out and pop it on an oiled tray so that it doesn't stick. And there it is, all done. You put a little bit of oil on the tray to stop them sticking once they come off, and then just let them cool and they're finished. So this is why this is great for a weeknight meal, because we're going to put half of these onto some baking paper and onto a tray and into the freezer. And once they're all solid and frozen, we'll just scoop them out and pop them into a little container labelled ready to go. Perfect for any night of the week. And we've made it to the good bit, which is always the eating. Now, this is where things get interesting with this recipe, because you can zhuzh it up however you like. You could do a creamy sauce, you could do an Asian sauce, you could just do a straight up classic ragu, bolognese. Imagine you are eating gnocchi. But that is what I love about this dish. It's so unbelievably versatile. But what we are going to do with these two, beurre noisette, sage, lemon, parmesan. I mean, could it be quintessentially more French? I don't think so. And then with our Asian inspired gnocchi Parisienne, we are going to make a butter sauce with a little bit of Marmite. I would have used miso, but I didn't have any in the fridge, so Marmite is the substitute, and I can guarantee it will still be absolutely delicious. And we'll finish it off with a little bit more chili crunch. How friggin' good does that sound? Also, what is great about this recipe, unlike when you make it from potato, it has less of a chance of sticking in the pan, so you really can get a great crisp on the gnocchi without it absolutely sticking like, well, something to a shovel, but you will end up with the most crispy, crunchy, great result. There are a few things that you should know when you are doing it. Start it off in a little bit of oil. Make sure your pan is nice and warm. Then you add in your gnocchi. You let it sit for a minute or two on that side, give it a little turn, let it sit on the other side a little bit, and then we're gonna add in the butter, because the butter will burn if we add it in too early, and we don't want that to happen. We're gonna take it to that beautiful nutty golden color that is just delicious. We're gonna add in them sage leaves, let them crisp up, and finish it off with that squeeze of lemon to bring everything together. We'll do the same for this Asian vibe one. We'll start it off in a little bit of oil, let it get a little bit of color and crispness, turn them over, then we'll add in a butter, a little dollop of the Marmite, and a tiny touch of water just to bring this all together. Finish it off with a few drops of that chili crunch. Then it's plating up and eating. And there you have it, two completely different dishes, but both will be absolutely phenomenal for a weeknight meal. That is why I love this dough so much. It's completely customizable to whatever you have in the house. The dough is just a great starting point. You can make it in a batch and put it in the freezer, and voila, you've got dinner ready to go when you don't feel like cooking but still want something maybe a little bit fancy. This is Gnocchi Parisienne, no potatoes needed, no stand mixer used, and all from pantry staples. To get any of my recipes, make sure you join my newsletter. It goes out every Tuesday. And if you've just learned how to make this dough and want another delicious thing to put with it, why don't you go and watch my white sauce video? Because if you made white sauce, this gnocchi, mix it all together, probably added some cheese and put it in the oven to bake, it would be like the best macaroni cheese, but with these delightful little pillows. Honestly, this is delicious. If you've enjoyed this video and you want to learn some other stuff, make sure you give me a subscribe so you don't miss out on any more amazing recipes coming out the Dishes with Del kitchen. Oh my God, the Asian one. Oh my God, you have got to give that one a go. But now it's lunchtime. My boyfriend's off work because he's got a sore arm. So we're gonna go and eat this and I will see you all next Sunday. I hope you've learned something new and I will see you all soon. Ciao for now.